Hi all, this video lecture we are going to discuss about risk management. So when it comes to risk management, there are four steps involved in risk management. Okay, so let me start with what is a risk actually. What is a risk? Risk is nothing but a problem which may or may not occur. It is a potential problem which may or may not occur. There are two categories of risk. One is uncertainty and the other one is loss. So if the risk occurs, what would be the loss? Okay, so these are the two characteristics of a risk. So when it comes to categories of risk, there are different categories like project risk, technical risk, business risk. From the name itself, you can identify any risk that may threaten the project plan comes into the category project risk. Any risk that threaten the quality and timeliness or implementation of the software, then technical risk. Any risk that threaten the viability of the software, then that is business risk. Okay. And when it comes to business risk, again, there are market risk, strategic risk, sales risk, management risk, and budget risk. These are all some of the risk types of risk or categories of risk. So, apart from this, there are other categories like known risk, predictable risk, and unpredictable. Known risk is the risk which can be uncovered after careful evaluation of the project plan. Predictable means that can be extrapolated from the past experience. From the past experience, you will be able to predict what are all the possible risks. Unpredictable means you will not be able to identify. Okay. So these are the introduction to risk. I told you what is a risk. Definition of the risk, that is any potential problem which may or may not occur, and the different categories of risk. Okay. Coming to risk management. So how can we manage the risk that occurs during the software development? First step is you have to identify the risk. Then you have to identify what is the probability of occurrence of the risk. And if that occurs, what would be the impact? And then you have to go for monitoring. Okay, so these are the four things to be carried out. First, you have to identify, then you have to calculate or find out what is the probability of occurrence and what would be the impact if it occurs. Based on that, you have to rank the risk and then you have to develop a schedule for monitoring the risk. Okay. So first I told you, you have to identify what are all the risk possible. Okay. So you can use for identifying, you can use reactive strategy or proactive strategy. Reactive means like after the risk has occurred, you will try to find a solution. Reaction. Proactive means before the risk has occurred, you will try to find out what are all the possible risks and how you can overcome this. Okay. This is reactive and proactive risk strategy. Okay. So first step, you have to find out what are all the possible risk. Then you have to find out the probability of occurrence. Then you have to find out what would be the impact. Based on the impact, you have to rank the risk. Okay. Which is to be given more priority and which can be given less priority. Both on based on probability of occurrence and the impact. Then you have to develop a plan for managing the risk. So these are the four steps involved in risk management. Okay. Thank you.